Hey y'all, what is going on? What is going on? It's your girl, Melba for Miami, Melba for Justice, also known as the resident legal diva. And it is time for another Mondays with Melba. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Super excited to dive into the topic of civic engagement and civic leadership, especially as we get into an election year. And I can think of no better person to have that chat with other than Dr. Agatha Caraballo from Florida International University, works with me, and of course, pleased to actually call her a colleague and a friend. Agatha, welcome to Mondays with Melba, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here. I'm a big fan, longtime fan. So, I'm really excited to be with you in this online space. As you mentioned, I'm the founding director of the Maurice A. Ferre Institute for Civic Leadership in the Stephen J. Green School of International Public Affairs at FIU. I'm also an associate teaching professor in the Department of Public Policy and Administration.
Super awesome. And tell everybody a little bit more about your background and how you came to academia and sort of your pathway forward.
Absolutely. So I first came to Florida and to FIU in 2000 as a transfer student. I earned my associate's degree up in Northern California and then came here and completed my bachelor's of science in communications at FIU, completely at the Biscayne Bay campus. And then came back to FIU in 2008 to get a PhD in public affairs, worked as a graduate assistant, and then had the privilege of joining the faculty a year after I graduated in 2013 as a digital instructor. So since then, I've taught almost entirely fully online classes and also served as the director of the undergraduate program studies in the Department of Public Policy Administration and as associate chair. And so when they approached me about a new institute that was being created at FIU, it just combined all of my extracurricular activities, the causes, and the issues that I was passionate about. So it's been quite a ride.
That's awesome. So, can you tell us a little bit more about the Institute, like the types of activities you engage in, what benefits the students get from it? And also, if you could give a little bit of Miami history about the man the Institute is named after, because I'm sure a lot of folks don't really know who he is and the legacy that he leaves behind.
Absolutely. So we like to credit Maurice Ferre as the father of modern Miami. He was a longtime statesman. He started his career in public service as a state representative in the Florida House of Representatives back in the 60s, and then became the first Hispanic mayor of a major U.S. cities and first Puerto Rican-born mayor of Miami in 1973 and served until 1985. And really, what was really noticeable is that he led us through Miami through some of its most turbulent time. If you've read the book, The Year of Dangerous Days by Nicholas Griffin, it kind of describes 1980 and everything that was going on during that time. And his time as a young mayor through the Mariel boat lift, the Cocaine Cowboys, the McDuffie race riots, and just his ability to bring people together. So when he passed away in 2019, FIU approached his family about creating an institute, in his name and in his legacy, to do a couple things, to promote civic leadership and engagement, which is something that he was really known for in bringing people together in coalitions. Community structure, he was a big proponent for transportation, affordable housing, and just a lot of the things that communities need and how we can come together as a community to provide those services. And then of course social justice. What's been so interesting to learn about Mayor Ferre, he was the first to appoint a Black city attorney, but also work to desegregate not only the police but fire departments in the city of Miami.
Wow, wow. Yeah, I didn't know that he was the first to appoint a Black city attorney. That's huge. And again,
Yeah.
this isn't ancient history, right? I mean, we're talking
The
the
legendary George Knox, who was also an FIU law professor. So continuing that legacy, we're working through both academic research and community programs, so collaborative partnerships. So far we've launched certificates to students around civic leadership and engagement. But we also have a shorter micro credential that's free to FIU students. And we offer fellowships with professional development fellowships, which we're proud of.
awesome, awesome. So for some of these fellowships, like where do the students end up landing? What types of opportunities are they able to get? through the program?
Yeah, so the fellowship is involved within the institute. So the students serve in a leadership capacity within one of our committees. So either around academic programming, helping us, develop our curriculum for our certificates and micro credential, around communications, helping with our outreach and social media, fundraising, learning about development, philanthropy, and grant writing. And then another aspect that we're working on is Puerto Rican studies and the diaspora. So working with the Latin America, Kimberly J. Green Latin American and Caribbean Center, and other partners, from throughout the community and across the country, to develop a Puerto Rican diaspora studies program as well. So students have opportunities to get involved in different capacities. Where they put together a portfolio, they work on different projects, and then we just connect them with mentors and give them professional development opportunities and eligibility for scholarships as well.
Huge, huge,
Yeah,
because money is always a major issue. So
absolutely.
broadening out a little bit more, not just for the FIU community, but just for, the community at large. Why is civic engagement so important? And, why is it something like, even if you're feeling like, well, I didn't go to school for that, can you be a civic leader? Can you talk a little bit more?
Absolutely, and really coming off of the quote, from MLK Day recently, we can all have capacities to give in big ways and small ways. Some will give time, some will give money, some will give both when possible. But I think the most important thing is realizing that we're all in this together. We have to work together to advance our communities. And obviously, with this being an election year, elections have consequences. And we have to pay attention not only to who we're supporting and putting into office, the issues that are being put before them, their positions, and realizing that, like I said, there's a lot of ways to get involved. What was really interesting to me when I first got into this role, some of the students who were very involved and engaged with us around voter engagement and registration were not US citizens, so they technically couldn't vote in these elections, but it was very important for them to be able to encourage other students to find their voice and different ways to get involved. So as we go to our going a little bit later, one project that we're really proud of is our FIU Votes Workshop Series. Our first one is going to be on January 29th with Commissioner Christine King around local government. So learning the difference between local, state, and federal government. Our next one will be around contacting your representative and advocacy. And then finally, your vote, your voice, finding the issues that are important to you and how you can make a difference in your local, state.
Yeah, and I love this, and what's huge about this is that it's done in a nonpartisan manner. So it's
Yes,
not like vote this way or vote that way. It's like, listen, whatever's close to your heart. Is it reproductive rights? Is it climate? Is it guns? Is it, gun reform? Either side of the issue. It's
yeah,
just empowering the students and, folks involved to learn more and get involved in whatever, like you mentioned before, whatever way possible that suits their pocketbook, time frame, where you are in your life right now. So
absolutely.
yeah.
And along those lines, I remember we met many years ago at a League of Women Voters in Miami-Dade County Mixer. And along those lines, finding organizations that are doing the work out there that, again, are providing nonpartisan voter education and resources. So we're looking forward to having a lot of outreach and education events this year leading up to the national election.
And as a matter of fact, we have an event together coming up. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So we're really excited. This is an extension of our Civic Leadership and Service Series, and I was so excited when you approached me with this concept of featuring Black women in the law. So next Tuesday on January 23rd from 2 to 3:30 p.m. in the Maurice Institute classroom, which is in the new SIPA 2 building on the second floor. We're really excited to have State Attorney Monique Worrell joining us for an intimate fireside style chat.
Yeah, and she's going to be the first of four speakers, which includes historic first African American female to run the Miami-Dade Police Department's Director Stephanie Daniels. We're excited to have Chanel Rowe, who is at present the only African American woman on the FIU Board of Trustees. And again, as we are hearing so much about education and the heightened role of the Board of Trustees, and they're going to be playing a bigger role moving forward, kind of understanding what that dynamic means. And then we're going to end the series in May with Allison Matuli, who Folks may have remember her from the show. This right here is her book where she wrote a book on First Amendment for designed for young people, for children, so that they understand the importance of key cases as well as understanding the importance of their voice. So I'm just so thrilled, Agatha, that like, you were like receptive to this idea and we could make it happen,
Absolutely, and just the support that we've gotten from across the university as well. Always looking for ways to collaborate. Appreciate the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice for support, the Jack D. Gordon Institute for Public Policy, and also the Pre-Law and Advising and Training Office, in the sense that not only within FIU, but throughout the South Florida community. We're just really fortunate to have people who really care and want to help students and just the community at large, learn and improve in this area.
Exactly, exactly. And also inspire, right? Because again,
Absolutely.
I mean, to me, the biggest driving force is for students of all races to come and see, listen, you can't assume where people come from, right? This may be the first, Black elected official or, Black person in this role they've ever encountered, right? Like you can't assume that everyone has, oh yeah, of course I know a Black female lawyer. Not everybody does, right?
Mhm.
And so that could be their first exposure, which then prepares them for the work environment, but then also for the little, brown and Black girls that are in class and thinking, what am I going to do with my future? And they can see an example standing right there in front of them. They may not take the same exact path, but they
Yeah.
know it's a possibility, right? They know it can be a
Yeah.
reality. So yeah.
I mean, we have a Supreme Court justice who came from our own backyard.
We do. The Honorable Justice Ketanji Jackson, who's just amazing and such, again, a testament to excellence and what we can accomplish in this field.
And
So
we'll go ahead and extend an open invitation in case she wants to join us in our series.
absolutely. Listen, Justice, if you got a few minutes, I know things are a little hectic right now in DC,
Right.
but if you have a few minutes, please come through. We'd love to have you,
The invitation is always open. So.
Always open, always open. So, what are some ways that folks can learn a little bit more about the Institute, learn more about upcoming events? Because again, some of these are open to the public. So,
Yes.
what are the links or the different venues, whether it be social media or whatever, that folks can learn more about the Institute?
Okay. The easiest way to go is, of course, if you go to Tree, just search for FIU Foray, FIU, FERRE. Same thing on all of our social media. Uh, Uh, along those lines, of course, also just our website, FERRE, FERRE at FIU, .fiu.edu. And of course, just feel free to reach out to us. Find me on social media as well, Agatha Caraballo. I'm happy to share information and meet and give information about how we can collaborate and our opportunities, not only for students, but again, to work with community partners.
Awesome, love it. And for everybody watching, I'm going to drop it in the comments. So, you didn't have to scramble, be like, oh my gosh, I didn't write it down. Check the comments. The links are going to be there. And of course, I will be tagging Agatha on all socials. So that way you'll have a direct pipeline to, reach out to her with any questions you may have. So, Agatha, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate all the work you're doing and appreciate your partnership and your friendship. So,
Thank
yeah,
you so
you
much.
rock.
I appreciate it. Like I said, I was so excited when you reached out and look forward to many more opportunities for us to work together.
Same. All right, y'all, take good care, and we will be back next week. Bye.
Thank